Hello again from sunny Orlando. I'm Bradley Gamber, and we're sitting down with the president of NAHRO, George Guy. Thank you, George.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
How's the conference?
Wow, it is overwhelmingly good. I'll say that. A lot of energy. Um, we've had some great keynote speakers. Obviously, we had some of our colleagues win awards. The sessions have been great. Women of NAHRO. So the energy is on fire, man. It's good. And we have, we're right here in the vendor booth area. I think we broke records in terms of number of vendors we have. So it's been great.
So you're 1 year in.
Feels like
How's
3 years.
how's that been going for you?
It's been very rewarding. To work with my colleagues that I've been knowing for a number of years, to see them in positions, whether it be state presidents or just serving on committees, and really contributing. And some folks that haven't really been involved in leadership have been energetic and getting involved. So I've just been inspired. So it's been one of the most rewarding things I can think of in my career, this side of 20 years. So I've been very rewarded by this.
I'm always interested to hear the stories of individuals that are in this line of work, because I always say I've never met anybody that set out to do this. We all kind of ended up here.
You're right.
How did you end up in this industry?
Well, I've always been what I would say a community builder. I worked on the side of education, but I coached for a number of years. I was actually a head track coach and assistant football coach for a number of years. But I did that during the day. I always worked in programs that would be for family development, community building, really getting kids and families to address their situations, whether it be in rural communities, also urban. So I've always collaborated with housing, workforce, and those type of things. So just so happened, 19 years ago, in doing all that, there was an opportunity at the Housing Authority to work in resident services to build their programs up. So in doing that, I just found a playground, I would call it, that I was able to use all these ideas and these relationships we had, and they were working in the efforts that we were doing for housing. So, and I just fell into it just that way. But I always tell people that, we always say that, we fell into housing, but really, I think it always starts from where it started for me, a love for people, helping people. And so that's kind of what drove my career, and also the ability to work and watch other people succeed, not just the folks that we work for, obviously. That's where a lot of my enthusiasm comes from, is seeing them get from point A to point B, but also coworkers, right? In terms of leadership, I've been able to provide environments where I can see people that have a lot of potential growth. So that coaching element has always been there, and leadership has always been there.
So you 1 year down, 1 year to go. What do you see as some of the challenges, and what would you like to accomplish?
I think that what we've been able to do, that's why I was jokingly said it feels like 3 years. We started out with a 5-year strategic plan. We got that done in like 6 months, due to the assistance of all of our members, folks like yourself, Ty, and other people around the country really rallied around, got together on Zoom to do some things. And then we were able to get new mission and vision done. And we have our committees, they all now have measurable outcomes that are 5-year oriented, but they have things that they're working toward in the next 2 years. Seems like a lot. I think the next year we're just going to focus on allowing those folks to do what they need to do. We have some other initiatives we want to make sure we support, because we're not going to probably get a whole lot done on that. We'll get some done, but really getting those things ready for the next 90 years, if you will. So really focusing on the governance, and then, to be honest with you, transitioning to the next leadership. And I think that's going to prove the success of this organization, is how we get in and then have a seamless transition. They work on goals, and I think that's how this is going to have more continuity and more success. So you'll see a lot of that this next year.
I think that was one of the more impressive things that I thought about these past 12 months. Seems like in the past we've always looked 2 years down the road, and all of a sudden it's 5 years.
Right.
And that says a lot about the vision for the long game.
Right. And I think that's what it's about. I think for some of us, for most of us, when you take this role on, at least for me, you don't do it for yourself. Like I said, it's really for your passion for people. And I always say NAHRO doesn't owe me anything, man. Much of what I've been able to do in my housing career comes out of being at conferences like this, having relationships with folks like you, Brad, and sharing ideas and really being inspired. So my goal was to make sure that we put that on a high level, right? So let's be a change agent to say it's okay to think about this thing in 5 years, and if you have some ideas to contribute to build on in 2 years, you can really do some of those things in terms of a vision. So I think that's where the difference could come. But again, and I'm not saying this, but looking at folks like you in the state, what you're doing, it's embracing stuff like that. I think is more important than saying every 2 years we have to have a new vision, and it's harder, and it's not, and it doesn't really empower someone else who may be, and I would say a rural community or a smaller community that may say, man, you know, I got some ideas, I want to be a part of that. They don't have to feel like they have to get it done in 2 years.
So what would your one piece of advice be to new executive directors coming on? It's always interesting when we go to these conferences, we acknowledge the first time attendees, and
Right.
it seems like there's more of them every time we have one of these. What would you say to those individuals showing up for the first time?
Well, first of all, we want you to join NAHRO. We're the largest, and we're the best. No, in all seriousness, I do think that we're unique, and because we have a diverse membership. No, I would say, man, you know, meet people. Take advantage of the relationships you have. I think that, you know, Brad, like you and myself, I mean, we've met, and every time we see each other, we're doing a joke or something like that. So you get friendships first. But I think you can build a support system that really lasts a lifetime. I've been in this business now for almost 19 years. And I have some of the best friends of my life. And I think as leaders, as executive directors, as you know, it's lonely at the, per se, the top. But when you have a network of friends that understand what you're going through, both personally and professionally, that's like an engine, man. It kind of keeps you reset. And so I think at its core, from a human level, this is why this is that association, because we keep those things in mind in terms of our conferences and some of the things that we're doing, the human element of it. But then there's all this support for you in terms of the professional side to help you build capacity and grow as well. And you can be empowered to be involved at the state level in terms of leadership, at the regional level, and then everybody can also be involved at the national level. So this is it, man. This is where you want to be at NAHRO.
It's interesting you brought up that loneliness feeling, especially in small public housing authorities, right. Especially when you're starting out.
Absolutely.
Because you get in that office and you think, there's nobody knows what I'm going through.
Right.
And I think it's important to build those connections so you do have that, so where it's not so isolated, maybe.
That's right. That's right. And what's great about that is obviously we have a small housing agency task force, but we have a bunch of people that they're not just small housing folks. Like you have friends within your state that are at larger associations as well. So there's such a network there. But like you said, unfortunately, on the small housing side, which most of our housing authorities are small, a lot of folks don't know what you all go through. But this is a place for a small housing. So if you're a small housing authority out there and you're wanting a place where you can belong, particularly at the state level or even the regional level, this is why this is a good association, because there's a bunch of folks that understand how you feel, but they still want the information to help them become more efficient and better at what they're doing as well. So not only do you build the friendships, man, you get a chance to get some resources then to help you as well.
So 12 more months, you're gonna make it count.
We are. But you don't know I'm gonna call you to help me make it count too. So, but no, I do want to say this. This type of thing is what makes it easier. You know, having a platform to talk about what we're doing, and that's really what we want to do. We want everyone to know out there there's a place to share ideas. There's a place where you can get the resources necessary to be successful. And so this is really what it's about, is being innovative, man. So I think people like you in the state, in the region, you are going to make it easier.
Well, we appreciate that. We appreciate you sitting down with us and all your hard work. We look forward to the next year in Phoenix.
In Phoenix, that's where it winds down. It's going to be very hot too.
It's hot. Somebody told me that the other day. They says, you go to all these hot places, don't they ever send you to Alaska or anywhere? They're like, nope. New Orleans, Florida.
That's right, that's right, that's right, that's right.
Well, we appreciate your time and sitting
Thank
down
you.
with you, and we'll look forward to the next 12 months.
Appreciate
Thanks a lot,
it.
George.
Yep.